Good morning, all of you. So we'll continue with the problems related to the friction on horizontal surface on inclined plane. And again, today I'm going to introduce the friction on vertical wall and block upon a block concept. One basic idea of the mu s and mu k. So if you look at the mu s, no, this mu s is what? Quotient of static friction, that one. So when there is no relative motion between the surfaces, then the interaction of molecules will be more. The mu_s will be definitely more. When there's a relative motion between the surface, the interaction between molecules will be less. So therefore the mu_k will be less. And both are independent of area of contact. And for some substance, mu_s and mu_k are equal. That's what you've seen. Like in here, I just mentioned mu_1 and mu_2. So is it mu_s or mu_k? So you can just take it to be both. It's not a rule that mu_s must be greater than mu_k. It can be equal to also for some pair of substance. Okay, now the question: two blocks are two blocks are kept on inclined plane in contact with each other. The masses of blocks M1 and M2 and coefficient of friction are mu1 and mu2 respectively. Find acceleration of blocks and normal contact force acting between them. So what we discussed here, it was the one thing. So here shall we put a condition tan theta greater than mu1 mu2? Then only they can slide. No, we can talk about the acceleration. So let me write a basic condition tan theta Okay, now what are the forces that will be acting on individual block will, or I'll show it on individual block. This is M1. Here, M1G sine theta. The first block, second block will push on it, no? So let me show that. The reaction, let me call R. And the friction here, let it be F1. The normal contact, this is N1, and this is M1G cos theta. Similarly, on the other block, M2G sine theta. Now, what about the normal reaction between the blocks? The R should act in this direction. The friction on that, F2 you call it. Then this is N2. This is M2G cos theta. So let both as normal reaction as both are in contact. Let me write expression for acceleration. So what are the equations of motion will be? Looking at the first block, the equations of motion will be mg sine theta plus r minus f1 equal to m1a. Further, what is m1? What is f1? Mu n1. f1 is how much? Mu1 n1. And this is equal to m1g cos theta. Substituting this, m1g sine theta plus r minus mu1 m1g cos theta equal to m1a. Keep this equation 1. Similarly, m2g sine theta minus r minus f2 equal to m2a. F2 is separately, let me write. So F2 is equal to mu N2. What is N2? N2 should be equal to M2G cos theta. Mu M2G cos theta. Substituting this, M2G sine theta minus R Adding up these two, we'll get expression for acceleration because r will get cancelled out. Adding 1 and 2. 1 plus 2. Now adding 1 and 2. This will be m and g. Directly let me write here m1 plus m2 g sine theta minus of mu2 mu1 m1 plus mu2 m2 g cos theta equal to m1 plus m2 into e. So what is acceleration? This should be equal to g sine theta minus mu1 m1 plus mu2 m2 by m1 plus m2 g cos theta. If you want, you can take g also outside. So we'll end up this basic equation, the expression for acceleration. Okay, now what about the reaction? Substitute this value of A in any one equation, you'll get the expression for the reaction. I'll directly write it. The reaction will be, so reaction means the normal contact between them. Mu2, mu1. Substituting this equation 3 in 1. So from what I do next is put 3 in 1. Then solving for R is equal to mu2 minus mu1 m1 m2g cos theta by m1 plus m2. Now look at this, the expression for reaction. When they'll be in contact, any condition, can you write it for them to be in contact? Definitely mu2 should be greater than mu1. No? See, for the blocks to be in contact, what is the required necessity condition? R should be greater than 0. For R to be greater than 0, mu2 should be greater than mu1. If mu2 less than mu1, R will be negative. Negative means they lose contact here. Getting the idea? So this equation is very important for you. Whenever 2-3 blocks come in contact, they're based on rough inclined plane. Whether they'll be in contact during motion or not will determine the value of mu2, mu1. So like the condition if tan theta less than mu2 and tan theta greater than mu1, definitely what happens, the block m1 will slide, block m2 will not slide, will be there only. So no question of this R. The moment you release, they lose contact. Try to analyze this. If tan theta greater than mu1, greater than mu2, so both will slide. Now, so will they be in contact or not? When both are sliding, will they be in contact or not will determine. Again, mu2 should be greater than mu1. Getting this? I am trying to stress some idea here. This equation we have to interpret properly here. If mu2 equal to mu1, then R will be 0. R will be 0, that one. If mu2 less than mu1, they will lose contact. Both will slide but lose contact. If tan theta less than mu2, block m2 will not slide, will be there only the block m1 will slide down. Okay, this so some good problems are there related to this what I discussed. So just analyze them. There's one basic method. Okay, any doubt? You can clarify. So solving this one, this equation 3, I'll put in either 1 or 2, you'll get the same thing. Okay, I'll go for the next condition. Any doubt you ask it. I'm not threatening you, but don't add chorus to the teachers voice. That's what in the group I put message, that one. Any doubt you are free to ask, but don't add coders to the teacher. Almost yesterday I got past 1 week, no, 10 days, the parents are sending message to me like, sir, like see that some students unnecessary talking along with you. So my kid is not come to listen for some others teaching for your teaching. So for me, no alternative, no. Past 2-3 months I was requesting, nobody was able to understand. So they told like, sir, why don't you remove them from the, block them from the class, they suggested. Is there any doubt?
Sir? Sir?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Sir, won't there be friction between those two blocks, sir?
How come friction? There is no lateral motion perpendicular to incline. Why friction between the blocks will come?
Okay, sir.
If tan theta less than mu1, tan theta, if tan theta less than mu1, tan theta less than mu2, both the blocks, what will happen, will be at rest. Will not slide, no? No question of that. This shape. This is rough. I'll just write it mu, where tan theta greater than mu. Find this is smooth. Find the minimum. Find the minimum and maximum acceleration of wedge for which block M1 will be at rest with respect to wedge M2. Tan theta greater than mu. If I don't move the wedge, so what is the state of the block? Block will slide down. So what is minimum and maximum acceleration of the wedge, so that the block M1 will be at rest with respect to wedge? That's the condition given for us. Okay, well, in which frame the problem will become very easy. By this time, you know the inertial, non-inertial frame. So in which frame the problem has to be picked up. Definitely non-inertial frame, the problem will become very easy and to understand also. So try to work out this problem in the wedge frame for the block. Describe the motion of the block with respect to wedge frame. What is the basic idea? What will be the range of acceleration for which the block will be at rest with respect to a range is telling minimum and maximum. Can we remember we discussed yesterday minimum and maximum force acting on the block for which the block will be at rest on inclined plane. The similar idea is brought it here. Okay, go for all the forces that are acting on system. So m1g sine theta, normal reaction n1, normal reaction here n1. Then I'm describing the motion of the block with respect to wedge. So I'll go for a pseudo force. This will be m1a. What is the direction of friction that should be acting? Before this, m1g cos theta. The friction should act on the block in this direction. On the wedge, it should be in this direction. I think this you have to be careful. Friction will always, force will always occur in pair. The red color, I'm showing that one.
Sir,
Yeah.
here we are calculating minimum acceleration, sir. That's why we have taken friction in that
Friction,
direction.
yeah, up the incline on the block. So I'll put it a minimum directly. We'll discuss the case for a minimum. Okay, no. So this is the. So I'll write the question here. Let this be the question here. Acceleration A of the wedge, and this is smooth. This is rough with tan theta greater than. Okay, this one I'm discussing the first case. This is a diagram here. Okay, let's come for the equations. So what all possible equations we can write on the block? N1 on the block. On the block, N1 will act like this: M1g cos theta, M1g sin theta, and the friction should act up the incline on the block. Then, so what happens if I don't displace the wedge? If I don't displace it, if I don't accelerate the wedge, then what happens? The block, as tan theta greater than mu, the block will slide on. For the block not to slide, what we are doing is I'm giving acceleration to the block, acceleration to the wedge. Because of this, the pseudo force will act towards left, and a component of pseudo force along with the friction now can balance m1g sin theta. This is the idea. The component of pseudo force along with the friction can balance the m1g sin theta. So that the equations of motion will be on the block. You can what are the forces? N1, the m1 is cos theta, friction, then this will be m1g sin theta, m1a sin theta, m1g cos theta. And what is the state of block? Block will be at rest with respect to incline. So person standing on the wedge, what he says, the block is at rest. So we have to just equate the forces. The person standing on the wedge, what will be his comment? Block is at rest. I'll write that comment also, so that will help you. So what he says, block is at. So write down the forces along the incline, perpendicular to incline. First, perpendicular to incline. N1 minus m1g cos theta minus m1a sin theta equal to 0. The friction should be equal to mu n1. Then along the incline, m1g sin theta minus m1a cos theta minus f equals 0. Substituting this, and this is a minimum, no? A minimum will introduce here only. This will be m1a sin theta, a minimum cos theta, mu into n1. In place of n1, what I can write it as? m1g cos theta plus m1 a minimum sin theta. All set equal to 0. solving for A minimum, we'll get the required answer. So there's a one basic equation. I'll slide down. So A minimum.
A minimum is J into sin theta.
Wait. Don't repeat. I told you. If you got answer, if I don't give correct answer, come back. No need to repeat because many students, they're getting troubled. They want to listen only teacher's voice. Please keep in mind. Even if you tell that it's not possible for anyone to understand, let me write it. If you got answer, just be calm, wait for teacher answer. If it's wrong, then you come into picture. Finish, okay, all of you? Class should be absolute silent only when you want to ask some doubt. No need to tell answers also. A minimum should be equal to m1g sin theta minus mu cos theta all divided by cos theta plus mu sin theta. This is already some form you have seen. I told you it will come at many places. At many places, it will do come like this. Yeah? So this A minimum now, how much it should be equal to? Tan theta minus mu by 1 plus mu tan theta.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, mass will get cancelled, sir.
Yeah. M1 will not be there. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, all of you, just check this. Now few questions like, yeah, M1 I removed it. This should be the acceleration of the wedge so that it should, what will happen, the block should not slide relative to the wedge here. Got this? So now tell me, like, who will provide this acceleration? External agent, no? So what external force I should apply on the wedge? How to calculate that? I'm just going further into the problem. To provide this acceleration to the wedge, no, there should be some external force. Can we calculate the external force that should be applied on the wedge to provide such acceleration? So there should be an external force, no? On its own cannot move, will I agree? Somebody should pull it. So what external force the external agent should exert on the wedge to provide this much of acceleration? So I'll directly take help of this equation. F external is equal to F cos theta minus N1 sin theta is equal to M2 A2. So I'll let me continue. The external force it's not a part of problem. Better to make observation. The external force that must be applied on the wedge. Okay, this I'll call F2 directly. What should be the F2? So here you're going to take like this. I'll show, looking at the diagram, no? So looking at the diagram, just write equation now. Now only look at the wedge. What are the forces that are acting? Component of friction, F cos theta. Component of normal reaction, N1 sin theta. Am I right? This should be. So these things is what? I'll take this one. So what is the equation now? F2. This is F2, I'll call it. Now let me write equation. F2 minus F cos theta minus N1 sin theta equal to M2 A2. M2 A minimum. We have value of A minimum. Do we know value of N1? Yes. Do we know value of the friction? Do we have value of friction? Yes. F equal to mu N1. Substituting that, all happen, we'll get the what force I should apply on the wedge. Let me call F that one.
Sir,
Won't it be F plus F cos theta?
Yeah.
It will be plus F cos theta, no sir?
This will be plus. I'll give the diagram here. Just some small rough diagram. That's what actually the question. Instead of asking force, no, I just made you to directly get the acceleration. What should be the value of force that should be applied so that block M1 will be attached with respect to wedge? Got this? So you try this later on. I'll just leave it here. Only you have to substitute the values of F and N1 and A minimum. You'll get the required value of force. Similarly, I want A max. I'll keep on increase this applied force. Then what will happen as I keep on increase applied force? What will happen to the condition now? As I keep on increase this applied force, the external force acting, the pseudo force will increase, and because of this, as I keep on increase the external force F acting on the wedge, the pseudo force will increase, no? Then in one specific value, the component of pseudo force is such that it will try to push the block up the incline. So what is the direction of friction? Should be down the incline. Should be the friction should be down the incline. This at that particular thing, the acceleration of the wedge will be maximum. I'll directly go for the next condition. Theta this is M1. What is the acceleration of the wedge? Let it be A max. So what are the directions of forces that are acting? M1G sine theta, normal contact, here normal contact, there's a weight M2G, M1G cos theta, the pseudo force, M1 A max. And then the direction of friction I should put down the incline, on the wedge, up the incline. Then resolve all the forces and solve for that. So this will be on the block. Directly let me write here. FF friction will act along the incline, no? So this should be the M1 A max cos theta minus M1G sin theta minus F equal to 0. Then N1 minus M1G cos theta minus M1 A max sin theta equal to 0. This is the thing. Then F is equal to mu N1. Solve for that, we'll get the required value of A max. Directly, already you have come across. I think I can write directly this. Will I agree this? Already we have derived equation of this kind. So with that, what happened? I'm directly writing this one. So I already told you, when a block kept on a rough surface, minimum maximum force. That idea gets repeated almost in every chapter, every topic that one. Whenever a block kept on rough inclined plane, the maximum minimum force needed to shift the block. What that conclusion we brought it, the same thing is what I'm just substituting here. You see this. Do compare. Actually, we discussed after class what you can do comparison. So this we are going to carry on almost at 10 or more than 10 places. This idea what happened frequently I'll be using it. So after solving I directly put it. So let's similarly go for if maximum force. What maximum force I should apply? On the block, on the wedge. This is rough, this is smooth. That particular thing is what we have to take help of like this. Here in this case, the F max What should be the value? I think here F minimum. I'll change the previous one. F minimum like this. We'll write it. We'll give different symbols here. What should be the F max? Anybody? It should be here both the friction as well as the normal contact. Both they're acting opposite to the motion of the wedge. So therefore, this F max minus N1 sine theta minus F1 cos theta should be equal to M2 A max. Substitute N1, F1, A max, then you'll get the required answer. Okay, this is about some pseudo force, friction, or all mixed things. So like this, you get plenty of numericals. All laws of motion go back, introduce friction, you'll get this condition. You do calculation later on. I'll proceed for the next concept. So here, don't forget to show friction on the wedge also. This was the troublesome for you. Okay, do make observation. And I'll take the next question. A block of mass m is kept on wedge of mass 2m and system is released from rest. The coefficient of friction, sorry, the minimum find the minimum coefficient of friction between the wedge and the ground so that wedge does not move. Find the minimum coefficient of it between the wedge and the ground so that the wedge does not move. The inclined plane is smooth. Okay, there's a diagram. Very good problem. Carefully analyze. So the surface between and M, this is 2M. This surface between the wedge and the ground is rough. This is theta, 45 degrees. Read the question. A block of mass m is kept on the wedge of mass 2m and the system is released from rest. Find the minimum coefficient of friction between the wedge and the ground so that the wedge does not move. The inclined plane is smooth is giving. Carefully analyze. Don't draw the diagrams. What are the various forces that are acting first? Okay, the forces that are acting on the system. I'll continue the problem here. So this is the rough surface. First we'll get the things. What are the various forces that will be acting on the wedge block? So first what happen? The free body diagram. From there we'll proceed here. The surface is smooth. Let's keep it. mg sine theta. Normal reaction. mg cos theta. Strict condition, what is given? The wedge should not move. So therefore, what shall I write here? This should be a test. There's a basic condition. No? The wedge should not move. That was the question given. Shall I show any friction between the block and the wedge? No. There should not be any friction. So there's a normal contact. And I'll give color like this. This is the normal contact. Then the weight of this will act. The weight of the wedge will act. 2 mg. There'll be normal reaction by the ground on the wedge. It will be in this direction. What possible direction the friction should act on the wedge by the ground on the wedge should be because of n1 sine theta it will try to shift. So the friction by the ground on the wedge should be in this direction. By the wedge on the ground should be towards right. Let it be this one. So here you can look at this n1. So this n1 sine theta, what happened, will try to shift the wedge towards right. And since the wedge is kept on the surface, so the ground, what happened, will exert a frictional force on the wedge towards left. And under action of n1 sine theta and the friction, the wedge is at rest here. So if you resolve this force, if you resolve this, n1 sine theta, this will be n1 cos theta. Try to look at the difference. So first we'll get the n2 now. So forces acting. First, what is n1? What is the state of block? Block, what happened? Block. This block can slide. We are not bothered. But still, this will have acceleration. Let's not bother because this is smooth, no? Because of m1g sine theta, it will slide down. But still, n1 is equal to, or say like n is equal to n1 equal to mg cos theta. Because what is the net force on the block perpendicular to incline? Should be 0. So what is n1? n1 should be equal to m1g cos theta or mg cos theta. This is the one equation. Let's have that one. Now, here what is n2? Looking at this on the wedge, n2 minus 2mg, n2 minus 2mg minus n1 cos theta equal to 0. Let me substitute theta value. What is theta? Theta 45 degrees. So n1 equal to mg by root 2. So n2 minus 2mg. n1 is mg by root 2. Cos theta, this will be 1 by root 2. n2 is equal to 3 mg by 2. Then for the wedge not to shift, I'll write it here. For wedge not to shift. What is the condition you can write? n1 sine theta minus f should be equal to 0. So what is n1? mg by?
It should be 5 mg by.
This is 5 will come. Okay, now n1 will be mg by root 2. sine theta 1 by root 2. The friction force will be mu N2. So this will be mg by 2 minus mu. What is value of N2? 5 mg by 2. So mu equal to how much? 1 by 3, I'll get it.
Sir, 1 by 5.
1 by 5, sorry. So this should be your answer. So slowly try to focus on the problems. If the friction is there between the wedge and the ground, if there is a friction is there between the block and the wedge, take this one. In Pathfinder, questions are there. Today you can work out based on the questions. There's 1, 2, 3 problems are there where there's a friction between block and wedge. Try it. On Friday, I'll discuss questions from Pathfinder. Friday, Saturday, we'll discuss questions which are related to Pathfinder. Very good ideas are there, but you need time. Not like by seeing you'll get answer. Two mg is there, N2 2 mg, that's all. No, why mg of the block will not come into picture. No, only the forces acting on the wedge water pan will determine the N2. Completed this. There can be questions between the PDF I do send. No, assignment I'll give today because almost the most concepts you will be coming across. Today I'll give assignment, you can work out. Okay, now fine, we'll go for the next condition. Block A. Similar to what we had, the constraint equation, no? Similar to that. Laws of motion, I guess. Let me bring. So there's a system. So there are 2 pulleys are there, fixed pulleys. So I'll give the mass of the block here. MA 5 kg, MB 4 kg, MC 2.5 kg, mu 0.5. So the system is released from rest. Find the acceleration of blocks. Okay, carefully analyze, carefully analyze. You have to be very careful here. The mu for inclined plane and the block, it is 0.5. pulleys are light and the string is massless. Pulleys are light and the string is massless. Okay, try this. Just I'll give some timer because some calculations are involved. It's not that straight away you can work out. Some calculations are involved. Pathfinder, I'll send it. Pathfinder PDF, I'll upload it. I'll upload it today. No problem. Yeah. So what to decide here? There's a big headache here, no? So what we have, the block is kept on inclined plane. Let's check tan theta and mu once. We'll see. We'll get any idea here. Tan 37. Anybody tan 37 value?
3/4.
3 by 4. 3 by 4. It will be, I think, is it tan 37 or theta? I'll write it. Is it tan theta greater than mu? The first tan theta is greater than mu from the problem. So what will happen to block A? There's no problem with the block A, no? It will shift. Because along with the weight, already tension is also going to act. So the block A, there's no problem. So the block A will shift here. And what about the block C? Yes, there's no problem. Block B also. So I don't know anything. I just proceed it. I'm not sure whether I'm right or wrong also. In the end, I'll cross check with some data whether I'm right or wrong. But the best way of the problem is like just get into the problem. The friction here, let it be F1.
Sir,
Ah.
is there a chance of tension being 0, sir?
Solve it. If you get 0, okay, 0. That's all, no? But seeing, we can't say anything here. I'll take another diagram. Okay, there's a question, so we'll proceed like this here. Okay, now the weight mcg will act. What is value of MC? MC is 2.5 kg. 2.5 G, I'll write it, or mcg will write. Let this be the tension. So first the weight mcg will act because of the strings will become taut. Let the tension, I'll show it here, T, and this is T. Here the friction, FB. Normal reaction, NA, MAG cos theta MAG sine theta. Here normal reaction NB. This is MBG. Let's have some values of friction in hand. It will be easy for us. Mu Na, mu MAG cos theta. So value of mu is how much? 0.5, 0.5, 5, 10, cos 37, 4 by 5. 25, so this will be 20 Newton. Similarly, FB is equal to mu MBG 0.5, 4 into 10, 20 Newton. Okay, so these are the frictional forces that are acting. And then we don't know, so let's assume that any constant equation, AC, 2AC should be equal to AA plus AB. Directly I'm writing constant equation. Acceleration of block C should be equal to acceleration of block A plus B by 2. Looking at the strings, that one. So there's a constant equation. Let's write the equations on individual block. T minus T plus MAG sine theta minus F equal to MA into A. Okay, so the next equation again. T minus FB equal to MB into AB. For the block, MCG minus 2T equal to MCAC. How many unknowns are there? Acceleration of the blocks, tension. So I'll do one thing. I'll substitute expression for acceleration for block A, block B, block C in the above equation. Then I'll find out the tension. Then I'll come and check it. Is it what I did right or wrong? Okay, son, we have to solve it. There's no other way. We can't just leave the problem here only. We have to come and check it. There's a possibility that here tension can be negative. No, tension must be positive. So here tension, I think here any non-zero value will be sufficient for the block A to slide. Will I agree? What about here? For the block B to slide, what is the necessity condition here? The tension must be greater than the limiting friction here. But sir, we assumed it as we assumed. Okay, let's calculate the tension. You check the value of T. If the tension is less than FB, then what means it will not shift. The block B, if tension is less than FB, the block B will not shift. Are you getting this idea? So if you can, anybody give the value of tension, then I can conclude something.
Sir, 11.21.
11.21. Okay, fine, very good. Tension 11.21. Is it possible for this tension to overcome this FB? But something we assumed it, the block B will shift, no? But what we ended up with answer 11.2 Newton. So what I should interpret now? In fact, the block B will not shift. And the friction acting will not be limiting on the block B, will be static friction. Only A and C will move. So with this, what is the thing? Therefore, the block B will not shift. Got it, no? So whenever on inclined plane something comes, no, so you have to be a little bit alert. We can't just blindly come to the problem. We have to cross check. And now if the block B doesn't shift out the problem will become Okay, this is so now only the block A and the block C will shift. MCG 2T. So I think this will be much easier. We know how to work out the problem. Now the problem has become very simplified here. So this is the normal contact, NA, tension, MAG sine theta, MAG cos theta, the friction here, FA, here the tension T, T dash I'll call it. This will be some other tension T dash, which I don't know. So this will be T dash. Static friction equal to T dash. So let's write what is the constant equation? This will be a test. Will not shift. So only block A and C are moving. Any constant equation for them? If this moves by 1 meter, that will, so acceleration of block A equal to 2 times of acceleration of block C. Then the equations T plus MAG sine theta minus F equal to MA into acceleration of it. Then MCG minus 2T dash equal to MC AC. And now you can ask question like, sir, why you took some other tension? Why not the same tension? That was only cross-checking. Practically, this what happens. Practically, this what happens. So here, what happened? I'll do verify. I'll assume the tension T dash. You check it. This T dash will be different than that. Or let's leave it to the answer. We'll calculate this T dash. But how many unknowns are there? T dash, acceleration of NC. 3 equations, 3 unknowns. Solving this, we'll get the required thing. Okay, now so what you have to be alert when only one block is there. We are very quite sure. When there are 2-3 blocks are there, then there can be a possibility that one block will not shift, the other 2 blocks will be moving, or maybe the two all 3 blocks may shift. It all depends upon the value of MC. I'll give you the answers. You can cross check them. This will be the final answers. Now, these are very important. Definitely in advance, no, they will try to trouble the students with these things, because the students usually just is not bothered about to verify that tension is greater than FB or not. Then definitely you'll be in the wrong thing, no? Because the block B will not shift here. Okay, no? So just you look at the tension value, calculate and check it. Is it equal to the earlier value? I'll introduce to the next concept, block upon a block. This will be, I think, plenty of numericals are available. In this section, plenty of numericals will come. So today, as much as possible, basics, I'll try to cover it. This is again very similar. You take notebook and eraser, keep eraser on notebook, try to move the notebook. Then even the eraser also will move along with it. Sir, what is the reason is what we are trying to explain. Now this is the block.
So could you once scroll up, sir?
Yeah.
Sir,
Okay, sir.
sir, I'm getting T dash to be 10, sir.
Check it. I don't have values, huh? I don't have values. Only accelerations I'm having. Huh? Fine. Okay, fine. I don't have values of T dash. And this is the block. This is a plank. This is a long plank. Of mass M2. Let this be smooth. Let this be rough. I'll give velocity to the block. So there's a rough is having coefficient of friction. So after what time the block will come to rest on the plank, or after what time both will move together? These are the conditions. This is that t equal to 0. This is thing. So what is the thing? A block of mass m1 is kept on long plank of mass m2, and then given a velocity u at t equals 0 as shown. Find the time at which both will move with common velocity. Both will move with okay, something he has put he has given a condition. Let's see that. Okay, let's get into the idea. The friction will always oppose the relative motion between the surfaces here. So what is the velocity of block 1 with respect to plank? Will be towards right. So how the direction of friction should act? This is at t equals 0. Then what is the direction of u12? U12 will be like this. Then how the friction must act opposite to u12. I'll give the colors, it'll be much easier. What is the state of block? Plank is at rest here. Only the block is given. So how the friction by the plank on the block should be such that it should oppose the motion. So here, before that, so show me the forces that are acting. So the weight of the plank, M2G. There'll be a normal contact between them. The normal contact N1 and this is M1G. And also there'll be normal contact by the block on the plank, that N1, I'll show it. And this will be M2G. Let's along y-axis. Will the block and plank, will it move along y-axis? No. So therefore, what are the equations? We can write it here. N1 minus M1G equals 0. That is on the block. Look at on the plank. On the plank, there'll be normal reaction by the, this is not needed. Actually, N2 and M2G should act along same line of action. To make the some clarity of the diagram, I'm just shifting it N2. Okay, got it? So N2 and M2 should be along the same line of action. So to make diagram little bit visibility, I'm just shifting N2. Fine. So there should be the now the what is the equation? N2 minus M2G minus N1 equals 0. So N2 minus M2G minus M1G equals 0. So what is N2 is equal to M1 plus M2 into G. Okay, these are the normal contacts that are acting like this. If you keep some 3-4 blocks, no, you have to trace out here because the net force on the block or the plank along y-axis is 0. That's why I'm equating them. Okay, now let's come for direction of friction. What is the velocity of block? What is the initial at t equals 0? What is the state of block? Block was at plank was at rest. No, only the block is given velocity. So what is U12? U12 bar should be towards right. The friction by the plank on the block will be in this direction. Is that okay now? Similarly, what is the U21? Velocity of the plank with respect to block. U21 in what direction should be? U21 should be in this direction. I'll show it here. In the corner it's available, U21. In what action the friction should be? Opposite to the relative velocity. So the friction on the plank will act in this direction. We have to show the friction at here actually. Actually the friction we have to show it here. We have to show that friction here. So you'll get confused. That's why I shifted. And the book certain that is they shown it here. Okay, no problem. Correct it is. So, so like where the block is not here, nowhere here, how friction, to make you understand. It's all about to make the student to understand. Okay, I'm just bringing it here. So if you want, you can show it here, F1. That'll be still more clear. Huh? I'll take it out. The F1 should be like this. So you can try this. These are nothing. You take compass box, keep it on table, keep one eraser. That one, just strike the eraser like this. Strike the eraser. If you just strike the eraser, nothing but you are imparting some velocity. Then you can see the situation, what happens. Provided open, the surface between the compass box and the ground should be smooth a little bit so that the plank can move. Practical open, this cannot be smooth. It should be rough between the plank and the ground. We are discussing some ideal case. This is the initial diagram. Now tell me what will happen to with this. The velocity of block will keep on decrease. And because of this friction force acting, what will happen to plank? Plank starts accelerating. So any accelerations can you give? So this will undergo retardation, no? Because the force acting opposite to velocity. And what about this? This will undergo acceleration. Because the force is acting, because of that, it will start accelerating. I'll write only F, because F1 that will get confused. No. What is the acceleration A1? So first we'll calculate the values here, specific values. After some time, anybody, can you tell like what situations will arise? That the plank will no longer will be here, no? Because of this acceleration, the plank will shift. And whatever the block also will shift. So let it come to some position. And then what will happen to the speed of the block? It keeps on decreases. So let it have one velocity. What is the speed of the plank? It will keep on increases. Let it have some velocity. Let it be m2. And at one instant of time, so what happens? Both will have common velocity. This is what that time t. And now you tell me, will any friction will act here? There's no relative motion. No? The friction will not act. This is something very simple problem and very important for us to carry on the further concepts. Why do they acquire common velocity? Because of retardation, the velocity of the block keeps on decreases. Because of acceleration A2, the velocity of plank keeps on increases. At one instant, what happens? Both will have common velocity. The moment no relative motion, there's no relative motion. So what happened to the friction? Friction will vanish here. But sir, they're moving. So we are not bothered moving at rest. If there's no relative motion, the friction will not exist here. Because the friction will always act opposite relative motion. Though it is a rough, though surface rough, still, because there's no relative motion between the block and the plank. Now earlier the block was in contact at point P1. Now you see that after some time, it will arrive at P2. Let's keep these things in the mind, or AB, I'll write it. So very initially the block at point A on the plank. Now finally where it is? At point B. This is just assumption. So is there any displacement of block with respect to plank? Yes, it is. You see also the plank got displaced with respect to initial position. You look at the block also got displaced, no? X1. So what is X2? Displacement of plank with respect to ground. What is X1? Displacement of block with respect to ground. That X1 I'll indicate here. And what is the displacement of plank with respect to displacement of block with respect to plank? AB. We have to find out all these things. So first, I think I want that velocity and time. How to bring that? Let's go for calculation. So what is A1?
Sir, sir, in this example, would the friction be variable, sir?
Why you are making unnecessary things here? Why it be variable? Kinetic friction depends on what? Mu, M, G. Mu constant, M1 constant, G constant, or no?
Okay, sir.
Unnecessary thinking. Don't make things complicated. Okay, let's go for calculation of A1. So what is A1? A1 should be equal to F by M1. I'll put negative sign, retardation. No? What is F1? F1 is equal to mu N1. What is F? F is equal to mu N1 only. Mu M1G. So substitute this mu M1G by M1, which is equal to minus mu G. What about acceleration A2? F by M2, which is equal to mu M2G by M2. So this will remain as it is, mu M1G by M2, this one. Okay, now I got it. So let's write expression for velocity. V equal to U plus A1T, U minus mu GT. Similarly, looking at the block, looking at the plank, V equal to A2T. So what is value of A2? Mu M1G by M2 into T. So let me equate these two equations, 1 and 2. So equating this, 1 and 2. So I'll get equation for mu M1G T by M2 is equal to U minus mu GT. So the expression for time will be T is equal to, or we'll write one more equation. This will be mu M1G by M2 plus mu G T equal to U. So the expression for T will be U by M2U mu G M1 plus M2. There's a time taken for the friction to vanish. After this time what happens, they'll continue swimming. How long? As due to inertia of motion, they'll continue that their velocity, their uniform velocity motion. How to calculate all things x1? Once you know the time, you can get all other things. Now substitute this t here to get the velocity. So you can calculate velocity x1, x2, and also the distance AB. What is AB? Displacement of block with respect to where that one. So let me write. What is AB? AB is displacement of block with respect to plank. So that is what x1 minus x2 from the diagram. That is what AB, no? So what is AB is equal to x1 minus x2. How to calculate x1? X1 should be equal to ut minus a1 t square by 2. What about xt? A t square by 2. Do calculation later on. I'm just giving the basic idea. So whenever, if you give velocity to the block, no, there's a one basic condition, what we applied. Okay. Similarly, sir, I'll give velocity to the plank. Yes. Then get the direction of friction acting on the block and the plank with the help of relative velocity. Then see what conditions will arise. I'll just discuss qualitatively. So you work out. Just I'll give only the idea, that one. So here instead of, let me give velocity to the plank, or I'll give velocity for both the block and the plank. What conditions will arise here? This is rough. At t equals 0, this is the situation. So if u1 greater than u2, we'll determine the direction of friction. I'll put a condition later. U1 greater than u2. Then now u12 will be in this direction. Then the friction will be like this. U21 will be in this direction. Then the friction will be in this direction. So then after some time, we get the position of block. both will have common velocity. This is after some time t. Goddess, it's not that only the I can give velocity. No, sir. Like if u1 less than u2, what conditions will arise? The direction of friction will change. Okay, na? Yeah. Okay, fine. So you try to work out the problem. This also the same thing. And there's a distance AB. What distance the block has moved with respect to the plank. And if u2 greater than u1, things will be a little bit different. I'll move on to the next concept. So let's instead of giving velocity, so let me go for the force one. So there's a plank. There are plenty of numericals, almost around, if you search book, more than 100 numericals you'll get based on this, the concept here. 100 numericals, more than 100. And the idea is same. Almost for all numericals, the basic idea is same. Now, I'll begin like this. This is the force, this is a rough. Initially, let me make this smooth. Later on, I'll make this ground also rough that one. So this is the initially block is placed on the plank, and I'll start pulling the plank with a force. What should be the maximum force for which no slipping occurs between the blocks? So I'll write down the question. Find the maximum value of force F acting on the plank so that no slipping occurs between the blocks, between the block and plank. It's a very, very good idea, this one. So these are not something very big. I'm telling this one, you can take compass box eraser. So I'll do something. I'll bring some. Okay, try to see this. So here, what I'm is it visible? So something I'm keeping like this here. So what do you mean by plank? The notebook, the blue color notebook, what you can see, there's a plank, and there's a block, that one. So what I am doing is I am moving only I'm moving the notebook. No, why do that box will move? Are you looking this? I'm not touching the box. Are you looking at the fingers here? I'm not touching the box here. I'm just moving only the notebook. Why do the box will move along with the notebook? I think it's clear this one. I'm not touching the box. Okay, I think it's still more clear now. You can see. What is this pad? There's a pad. Pad is a ground. Pad is a ground. Pad is a ground. Okay, that's one. Yeah. No, I think it's quite clear. No, I'm not touching the box. You can see that I'm not doing magic. Also, I am just only pulling the notebook. What makes the box to move along with the notebook is what we are trying to learn here. Okay, now you see that I'll anything happen to the box? Anything happened to the box? So it started sliding, no? This one, if I apply some more force, it starts sliding. I'll bring smaller object. So all these things you can analyze at your place. I can all pretty easy things, that one. Now you see that some block it is. All of you able to see the block? Now I'm only pulling the notebook. Why that particular block is not moving? This is what we have to answer question. Now if I apply some force, anything happen to this particular block? It starts slipping on that one, no? It starts slipping on that. You can see this. So it starts slipping, but now there's no slipping. Both are moving together. Both are moving together. But if I start pulling with a more force, no? So slipping occurs. Getting that here? Slipping will take place. So this is what we are going to discuss, you know. So you can do one thing, try at your, take compass box, eraser, this one, these are some objects are there, or any other thing, some rectangular block, that one. So try to pull only the plank. Then you can see that the block is also going to slide along with the plank. Then, so what happened? Here, what makes the block to move along with the plank? That's what we have to give some specific reason. So let's go for the free body diagram. What are the various forces that are acting? The normal contact, N1, the weight mg, and the normal contact by the block on the plank, the weight m2g, then the normal contact by the ground. So what are the equations? We can write it here. N1 minus m1g equals 0. N2 minus m2g minus n1 equals 0. Keep it in hand like this. Let mu s be the quotient of static friction. Mu s and mu k, both I'll give it. Mu s and mu k. Let's assume directly some values. So m1 equal to, let it be 2 kg. M2, let it be 3 kg. Mu s equal to 0.5. Mu k equal to 0.2. Okay, now how the friction has to be shown. So it's a very simple idea. As the plank moves, tell me, like, who will make the block to move along with the plank? There should be some force acting on it. Otherwise, how do it undergo displacement with respect to ground? There's a simple common sense. Or we'll do one thing. First, what happens? The moment you apply force, the plank shifts towards right. And both, what happens? The block M1 will be at inertia of rest. So because of that, what happens? It will exert a force on the plank, and the friction on the plank will be in this direction. The friction on the block will be in this direction. Got the idea? So this is what happens here. I think there's a question, no? I'll give one more diagram. I'll give one more diagram. This is M2. the force we applied. So the direction of friction on the block, on the plank. Then what we notice is that they are moving within a common acceleration. Okay, fine. So here we'll appoint some persons. The person on the ground and the person on the plank. So now what this person says, what is the comment from him? Both the blocks will move together. What about this person? What he says? Block is at rest. Block M1 is at rest. Both the block and the plank will move together. There's a comment from him. Whatever this one, what he says, block M1 is at rest. He says block M1 is at rest. Okay, let's write equation. So this should be F minus F equal to M2E. Then on the block M1E. I'll add up this F equal to M1 plus M2. I think in fact it's true, no? The friction will become internal to system. For the person on the ground, what will happen to the friction? The friction will become internal to system. You will say that net force acting on the system is applied force F. Got it? Then the acceleration of that the system should be F by M1 plus M2. Then the expression for acceleration this much. So let me substitute this value of A in the second equation. So here it will be M1F by M1 plus M2. I just substituted the value of A in this equation here. So here acceleration is equal to F by M1 plus M2. Okay, no, this one. So the basic idea. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll keep on is applied force. So look at this equation, how the friction as well as these two are there. So this is something very important. Do make observation and look at this friction and applied force. This is what shall I put anything? Static friction. Acting between the blocks, really very troublesome for you, acting between the blocks. Okay, let's come for when you can call a friction static. Let me trouble you now. When you can call friction static, when block is at rest with respect to ground, static friction X, it was in that situation. And when there is a no relative motion between the surfaces, the friction acting will be static. When there is relative motion between the surface, the friction acting will be kinetic. This is a basic idea. It's not that when block is at rest, the friction acting is static. That happens when block is kept on the ground. But look at the block and the plank, both are accelerating. Then sir, block and plank are moving, then the friction should be kinetic. No, the idea is not like that. So we'll just change the basic condition what we started. It's a different situation. So what we have to conclude, when there is no relative motion or when there's a relative zero, the friction acting between the surfaces will be static. That's what I brought the condition. Now you can ask me, sir, how you can say this is a static? There should be some reason. What is the nature of static friction? Static friction depends on applied force. Will I agree? The basic thing what we learned, static friction varies as that of applied force. Graph also we have discussed. So here, as I increase applied force on the block, on the plank, the friction force acting also it increases. So therefore, this having a nature similar to that of the static friction. So therefore, the friction acting is in fact static here. So here, what is A relative? Strict condition I should write. A relative is in fact 0. This is very important. Okay, now I'll keep on increase applied force. Tell me what is the maximum permitted value of the friction, static friction, equal to limiting friction. So here I'll as F increases, F also increases. Are you looking at the equation? So therefore, what is the maximum permitted value? So here this will be FL equal to M1 F max by M1 plus M2. What is FL is equal to? Limiting friction. So it should be equal to mu N1 or mu S N1. So I'll substitute this. Mu S M1G equal to M1 by M1 plus M2 by F max. So what is the value of F max? Mu S M1 plus M2 into G. Let's do one thing, calculate all the values here. So what is value of mu S? 0.5. M1 is 2 kg into 10. So 10 Newton. I agree this. Let's calculate the F max value. Mu S is how much? 0.5. M1, 2, 3. This is 10. 25 Newton is what I'm getting the value. What do you mean by this? How I should interpret this? When applied force less than F max, then no slipping occurs. When applied force greater than F max, slipping will occur. So how do you can say slipping or no slipping? Suddenly all of you brought such a complex condition here. Why I should call F max? Because as I keep on increase applied force, the friction acting between the blocks also will increase, and it will be static only. Then there's some upper limit for, as I keep on increase applied force, there's some upper limit for the static friction. What is the upper limit for static friction? The limiting friction. I'll write it. This is what FL is. Limiting friction. So any friction force greater than this cannot exist, no? So therefore, there's some upper limit for applied force I'm putting, for which no slipping occurs. I got here now. So what is F max here now? Maximum force on which you can apply on a plank, for which the blocks will not have slipping here. Now, what is the conclusion I have to make it? So here, this is very important. The conclusion. What is the conclusion? F less than F max. A relative will be 0. The friction acting will be static. So blocks moving, then also our static. Here we are not discussing about block on a ground. Both the blocks are moving. There's no relative motion between the blocks. Then the friction will be static. I think there's a come out of that basic thing what I started. Say in books, you do have equations, no explanation. That's why you find very difficult. So just I'm giving the basic condition here. So here afterwards, whenever a pair of surfaces, they are in motion, friction will be static or kinetic will determine the A relative between them. If there is a relative acceleration 0, the friction will be static. Let's come for, so what happens if apply force greater than F max? Then definitely slipping will occur. What do you mean by slipping? There'll be a relative motion between the blocks. Now you can ask us, sir, we don't accept this, what all you said. Let's, who did this problem? The person on the ground. With respect to ground, we did all this problem. Huh? So who wrote all these equations with respect to ground? So with respect to person on a plank, we'll discuss the problem. Let's see, any still more better information we'll get it. The person on the plank. So what is the force? We applied a force which is less than F max, and I'm very sure that there's no slipping, no? And how the friction? And now why friction will act on the upper block in that direction? Okay, let's do one thing. The person who is there on the plank, what will be comment? As F is less than F max, no slipping, no? Block is at rest, you should say. Then he will put pseudo force in what direction? Towards left. Why pseudo force? Why pseudo force? Because what is the state of block? Block is accelerating, no? The plank is accelerating because of applied force. And as it is less than F max, that one. And so what is this person? He'll be shocked, no? He'll be under shock. Why it is a shock? He says that M1 is pseudo force is acting, but still it's a test. So here what happened, he will not see actually, this is like a we are bringing. What he notices that there's a friction is acting. And what will be his comment? The block, what will happen is a test and there's a friction acting. Why that friction acts, he says, I don't know. So what is the problem arised? What is the problem arise with respect to him? You don't know why friction acts. Is he right or wrong? He's right, that one. So to make, and what is the problem here? F non-zero, what he comments? Though force non-zero, still acceleration zero. What happened? Newton's law has become invalid, no? To make it valid, what I should do? I should bring a pseudo force. So, but in fact, the person, what is the force acting on the block M1 with respect to person on the plank? You should say only static friction. And still a test. So any problem arises, then laws of motion got invalid. So to make it valid, what happened? I should bring pseudo force. The person will not see pseudo force. So why? Who is bringing the pseudo force? Your physics teacher. Why? To make Newton's law valid. But this person says, what is the force acting on the person Q, I'll call him. So force acting on the block M1 with respect to Q is static friction F only. Then why M1 is brought? We are introducing it. Got the idea now? This is, so now we'll do one thing. I'll increase the applied force. If you increase applied force, the acceleration will increase. If you increase the acceleration, if the acceleration increases, pseudo force will increase. If pseudo force increases and the block is at rest, so definitely the friction should increase. So therefore, this is what static. Got the idea, no? So at least I'm giving enough of proof for you. Not like just what is dumped in book I'm putting here. Either you solve by any frame. I'm just showing that as the friction acting, when there's no relative motion between the block and the plank, the friction acting will be static. Or don't write acceleration here. I think it'll be wrong, no? It should be this much only the diagram. What did the person say? The person Q said block is at rest. So here this person, what is both the blocks will move together. So who is solving this with respect to what is the name? P. There's a person P, there's a Q. With respect to person P, what all we did earlier. Now with respect to Q, what happened? There is a condition. Let's go for what happens if applied force is greater than F max. How to check this? If the applied force is greater than F max, there'll be slipping will occur.
So you mean to say that if applied force is greater than F max, there will M1A, the pseudo force, will be
greater than the limiting friction, then slipping occurs.
okay, sir.
That's what I'm going to put now. So here, the force, let me put in another page. The same problem, we are just continuing the force greater than what was the maximum force? The force was 25 Newton. No? Let me apply 30 Newton. Let me apply directly 30 Newton. Let's see what conditions will arise. So what is this force now? It is greater than F max, no? Then I'm directly going to write accelerations A2 and this is A1. The friction acting will be kinetic. Got the idea? This should be. There'll be slipping will occur. No slipping between the blocks. So now a person on the block, what will be his comment? What is the person on the ground? What will be his comment? Blocks, block and plank move with different accelerations. So person on the plank, what he comments? The block is not attached. Block M1 slips on the plank. It says that block is moving. So that the comment will be totally different here now. So don't show pseudo force. We are discussing with respect to ground now. So what will be its comment? Its comment will be block M1 shifts or slips here. This person block and plank move with a different acceleration or slipping occurs. Okay, fine. This is so let's write the equation now. F minus Fk equal to M2 A2. We know 30. This will be Fk is what? Mu k n1 or mu k m1g. This I assumed 0.2, 2 into 10, 4 Newton. 30 minus 4, M2 is how much? 3. So A2 is equal to 26 by 3. What about A1? A1 equal to Fk by M1. Fk is how much? 4 by 2, 2 meter per second square. You keep on increase the applied force here. What will happen to acceleration of the block?
Decelerate.
Will be constant, it remains constant. So here what happened? Slipping occurs. This one. So here I'll proceed further. I'll give one the best conclusion of this. There's everything instead of all the numericals. No, let me put everything graphically.
Sir, could you scroll up once?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Let me apply time varying force alpha t. Or the same problem, let me put phi t. The same values, all the things same. Now I ask you to plot the acceleration of the blocks. The same values. We are going to continue the same thing. Mu s 0.5, mu k 0.2, m1 2 kg, m2 3 kg. So this is smooth. This is rough. So here the graph, I'm going for the graph here. So this is the frictional for like a what is the graph? How that acceleration of the blocks. This is the acceleration of blocks. How it varies with the time. Now what is Fmax? 25 Newton. No? So till 5 seconds, both will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can keep on with one. And let this be the acceleration. So till 5 seconds open, both will have common acceleration. After that, so once t greater than 5 seconds, slipping will occur because t greater than 5 seconds, what is the applied force will become? More than 25 Newton, then slipping will occur. Then what happened to acceleration of block M1? We'll have some fixed value, no? We'll have fixed value. So here this will be the acceleration of the block M1. Now what about the M2? M2 will continuously increase. M2 should continuously increase. So shall we put how the possible curve? Or the possible curve. So here only you can write it, no? So this is the I'll write it here. Equations, I'll write it here. A1 equal to, when slipping occurs, there's a formula. Mu k m1g by mu k. What about A2? F minus fk by m2. This is phi t. Mu k value, kinetic friction. We have to, I think we have calculated, no? 4 Newton. 4 by m2 is 3. So after slipping, what happened? The value of this acceleration depends upon the graph here. So here the graph will be, now which particular thing corresponds for what? This will be for A1. This particular response for block M1. This is for block M2. 5 seconds. Okay, got the idea, no? So this is what happens. If you apply some time varying force, no, you can really see that as long as applied force less than F max, no slipping occurs. Once the applied force becomes greater than F max, slipping occurs, then the blocks will have different acceleration. So no slipping means A relative 0. Slipping means A relative non-zero. So these are the terms. No slipping means A relative 0. Friction acting will be static. Slipping occurs. Slipping occurs, A relative will be non-zero, then the friction acting will be kinetic. Now, the core idea of all this discussion. You take any number of blocks, whatever the situation. So there's a core idea, finish over. Everything, all that 100 numericals, no, they just revolve around this one only. How to check whether slipping occurs or not? You have to look at the accelerations. Any doubt you can ask me. Any doubt if you have, you can.
Sir, the graph is between relative acceleration and time, no, sir?
Acceleration of block with respect to time, no? Initially, what will happen? Not acceleration of blocks, not a relative acceleration of blocks with respect to time. You look at the thing, not relative acceleration of blocks. Acceleration it is, just only acceleration, not relative acceleration.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir,
So you can work out many numericals. So when the slipping occurs, means like a so every time you need not to remember problem. That's it. Continue the problem. Check the friction force acting. If the friction force less than limiting, no slipping occurs. Friction force acting is more than limiting, slipping occurs. Numerical. There's only theoretical background I discussed. Numericals, you can't work out so much lengthy method here. There's only an explanation, conceptual way of analyzing things. Numericals, you must have a smart approach. Completed? So not directly. So how the numericals will do come. So I suggest you don't remember any formula. Need not remember any formula. I'll change the values also. Let this be 3 kg, 5 kg. Let this mu be 0.2. I'll apply a force 10 Newton. So I'm asking now, find the frictional force acting between the blocks. I'll not take help of anything that one. So this is smooth, this is rough. So directly I'll get the direction of friction acting like this. Straight away, let me assume no slipping occurs. No problem that one. Before that, you must end up with first, you should calculate the limiting friction. What is the limiting friction? Mu into 3g. This will be. So mu is volt up in 0.2. This is 3 into 10. 6 Newton. So there's a limiting friction everyone must calculate. This what needed for us. Before entering problem, calculate limiting friction at all surfaces. Keep it ready. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's assume that no slipping occurs. Let's assume, this is the assumption. Huh? Let's assume, I'll give, I think some, I'll give one more diagram. There's a question. Diagram, we are going to assume that no slipping occurs. I applied a force of 10 Newton. Then the frictional force acting will be F. Let's assume no slipping. So when no slipping occurs, what is the friction force that should act? Should be static friction. We know that there's idea. So I'll write down the equation. F minus small f equal to 5 equal to 3 on the upper block. Let me add up this. So what is the acceleration equal to? F by 3 plus 5, 10 by 8. So what is the acceleration will be? 5 by 4 meter per second square. Let me check the value of friction force acting now. F equal to 3 into 5 by 4. This should be 15 by 4. What is the 15 by 4?
3.75.
3.75 Newton. Okay, I got now the value like this. What I should conclude here is I assumed no slipping occurs, static friction, and look at the value. It is less than F. So what we assumed is right or wrong? What we assumed is right or wrong? Yes, correct. No? If you get F greater than FL, then what you assumed is wrong. What you assumed is wrong is what you assumed is no slipping. In fact, slipping will occur. You take applied force 30 Newton. There's a first case. F equal to 10 Newton. So let me apply, say, 30 Newton. Okay, this one, if I apply 30 Newton, then 30 by 8, 4. So 4 into, so you can see like a second case I'll come for directly. F equal to 30 Newton. Still, I'm not sure whether slipping occurs or not. But I'll proceed the similar way. So what is the assumption? Both will have same acceleration. The friction will act like this. Then I'll calculate the acceleration. What is the acceleration of system? F by 3 plus 5. 30 by 8. Then O will accelerate only the block, the friction. F equal to M1A. 3 into 30 by 8. This will be 90 by 8. 11 point, anybody value?
11.25.
11.25 Newton. Look at this, greater than FL. Because what is the FL value? FL equal to mu into M1G.
MG.
Now, mu value, we assumed it, 0.2. So this is 0.2 into 3 into 10, 6 Newton. So definitely the friction cannot be greater than limiting, no? But what we got, 11.25. No, sir, no problem. So you can't say no problem here. What is the maximum permitted value of friction? Equal to limiting friction. But how much friction is acting? Greater than limiting. So F cannot be greater than FL. So what problem arises? So therefore slipping occurs. So got the idea now? How to check slipping occurs or not? Whose help you are going to take? You are going to take the friction. You assume first no slipping. It's assumption. Let's assume no slipping occurs. And carry on the problem. Calculate the friction. Check friction greater than or less than limiting. Less than limiting, what you assumed is right. If it is a greater than limiting, then what you assumed is wrong. Then the reverse of that, the opposite of that occurs. So slipping occurs. If slipping occurs, then what you should do? Kinetic friction will act here. So then the problem, you have to change it. F equal to 30 Newton. Here, limiting friction will act here. I didn't give mu k value, no? Just show FL. They will have different accelerations. A1 equal to FL by M1. A2 equal to F minus FL by M2. Got the idea, no? This is a numerical approach. Do very important. The last one, the what we discussed theoretical, but the numerical, what when you're solving, you should have this condition. Always assume no slipping, means maximum numericals. Assume no slipping. Calculate friction value. If the friction less than limiting, what you assumed is right. Friction greater than limiting, then what you assumed is wrong. Then you have to change the condition. Slipping occurs. Then again come to the problem. Calculate acceleration of the blocks individually. Everywhere the same story repeats. All that 100 numericals, the idea will be same here. Okay, fine. I think getting late for your next class. I will stop it here only. Tomorrow we'll continue.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all of you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.